Good afternoon, class, and welcome to your virtual course. My name is Dr. Araipur, and you can call me Dr. A if it's easier for you. Here's Math 60, or the first calculus course. I sent you several emails to explore the course, and here's the home page of Canvas. As you can see, I put the numbers so we can follow. The first one is welcoming you to the course. I'm very happy to have you here. Welcome to the course. Number 2, class philosophy. Let's look at class philosophy. I'm going to see if this can read for you.
This class is a community, and therefore, we all have the same objective: to learn. Online students often feel isolated,
I'm
but it
assuming
is
everybody
vitally
can hear.
important to know you are not in this alone. I would like each of you to approach our online class with a great attitude and a willingness to help one another. Many problems and questions can be resolved by asking a fellow student. I am always here to help you, but I truly believe your experience will be more fruitful if you communicate with your fellow students as well. Let us work together to make this a memorable semester for each and every one of us. Course objectives. The objectives of our Calculus 1 course are about the introduction of fundamental concepts of calculus, which is a branch of mathematics focused on understanding rates of change and accumulation. Accordingly, the main goal of Calculus 1 is to introduce students to the fundamental ideas and techniques of calculus, which are essential for understanding change and variation in a variety of fields, including physics, engineering, economics, and more. The course will be centered on several main topics covering the notion of basic concepts of analytic geometry, limits and continuity, and differentiation and integration of algebraic and trigonometric functions. Applications include related rates, extreme value problems, area under a curve, volume of revolution, work.
So that's the class philosophy, and you can contact me either using the Canvas or my email address. When you use the Canvas, it tells us which course you are registered in. If you don't, make sure you put in the subject the course that you're registered in, mrapur@lbcc.edu, and I answer it almost immediately within 24 hours from Monday to Friday. Going back to the home page, number 2 was the class philosophy. Now, number 3 is the announcements. Let me put this in student mode. And as far as the announcement is concerned, these are the announcements that you've received in the form of email. So when there is an announcement, if by any chance you miss the email, you can go to your Canvas course and you find it under the announcements. For example, when the time comes to take the exam, there is information about the exam. It is password protected, and you receive emails. In case you miss that, you can always find it under the announcements. Number 4, we have the syllabus modules where we can find the homework and quizzes in WebAssign. At the bottom of the home page, this is the student office hours. For this semester, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 12:15 to 2:15 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday, 8 to 9:30 a.m. So I have extra time for you. And also, you can find this at the in the syllabus. However, we don't want to mix this up with this one. This Tech Connect Zoom is where you attend your class meetings. Okay. All right. Now, the next one is the syllabus. You can click on this one, or on the left navigation bar, you can find it. We have 2 things. We have the class calendar and the actual syllabus. I wanted to separate them so you don't have to look for it. Class calendar tells us what we should be at any given time as far as the section of the course is concerned. And roughly every 3-4 weeks, we have an exam. And as you can see, it's coming up in a few weeks. And we also can see that chapter one review homework is coming up and it's due. We'll discuss that further as we come across it. And this one is the actual syllabus. The syllabus starts with, again, welcoming you to the course. And then we see the topics. Because the syllabi are getting larger and larger, I put them in this format so you can go to a topic of interest. For example, students may be interested in the grading policy mainly. Okay, but let's take a couple of minutes to go over the whole thing. And again, you can go back to it with details if you want. So first we start with the section number, time, and so on, course catalog, description, student learning outcome, course objectives, the text, and it's a first day digital access, so you can get started with that if you like. Calendar, uh, again, I have the Zoom meeting here, or as I mentioned, on the left navigation bar of Canvas. Now, every exam, I've set it up so you can take it on Saturdays. Every exam is taking place on Saturday. So all exams, Saturdays. It makes it nice and easy. I wanted to make sure that you're comfortable when you take the exam. And the review takes place during the week, prior weeks. So on Monday of the week of exam, you receive an email / announcement. If you miss that, you can find it under the announcement of uh, Canvas with the same name. For example, the first one would be exam one. That would be the topic. And you have until Saturday to take the exam. The moment you receive the email, you can, with the password, you can take the exam. So you really don't want to wait too long when you get to Saturday, maybe no later than 7, 8, 9 p.m., just to be on the safe side, because if you start late, first of all, you may not have all the time. Okay, for example, you start at 11 p.m., you have only 59 minutes. Okay, so that's not what you want to do. And there is no proctorial. As long as you watch the recordings and follow the practice test, you should have an easy time with the exam. My assumption is you do your homework assignments and quizzes in a timely fashion. The meetings, of course, a couple of days. You already know that Monday, Wednesday for this course. Calculators. You may use a scientific calculator for the exam. For some exams, there's a specific exam, I tell you, you may use a graphing calculator for just actually a specific question. These are free online calculators. These are resources that I have put them here so you don't have to pay for a calculator. Tech support. We have the tech support for the publisher, Cengage / WebAssign, and we have the Canvas support. We have a campus support. So if you have a technical issue, they can help you. Math Success Center, you can find it here. I'll go over that you can find that in Canvas page also. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time on that. There are other helpful websites here if anybody is interested. Okay, everybody. And probably the most important thing for students should be grading policy. So we have online homework. We have multiple attempts, 200 points. Quiz, there's only one attempt, 100 points. There are 4 exams, each one is 100 points, and the final is 300 points. Total of 1,000 points. This is a point system, 90% and above, meaning 900 points and above is an A. 80% and above, that means 800 to 899 points will give you B. And at any given time, you should know what your grade is. Because you have access to your homework, you know what you've done, and quizzes, and I put them up at the end of the semester, every exam as soon as we're done. I put the grades in. Test and makeup policy, you really have the whole week. I don't see why there's a need for a makeup policy. If something comes up, you can let me know. Also, the lowest grade before the final may be replaced by the final exam. As long as the final score is B, that means 80% or better. Homework and quizzes are good, really good, that means 95% or higher. And more importantly, this action will result in a higher letter grade. That's extremely important. Of course, if you miss an exam, it's a zero which will not be replaced. So a missing exam results in zero. Course late work, there's a 10% deduction. You really don't want to do that because before you know it, the time is up. Time frame and exam inquiries, I will answer your emails within 24 hours. CSULB 36, this is very interesting class. Based on the research, you need 5 hours per unit outside the classroom to do really well. So this is a 5-unit course. You need 15 hours to be on the safe side. Dropping policy, basically, if you miss the first day, do not register with the publisher immediately, and the very first assignment that is coming up. We'll discuss that further in a moment. Other websites that are other helpful websites are given here, and their numbers, such as accommodation and financial aid. Summary steps to succeed. Study the PowerPoints, do your homework and quizzes, study the practice test and their solution. If you have a question, send it over and attend the review session to do well. Student office hours are posted here. You can find them here, as well as the bottom of the home page of Canvas. And then we have, again, other websites. Basically, it's just the scholarship and so forth. A couple of items that I want to discuss here as far as the online learning is concerned, and they refer to it as netiquette for online learning, and you can go to the website. There are a bunch of it, but the bottom line is really this: you really want to be courteous towards one another, and you want to show that you are a professional. And when you write something as a college student, you want to write the proper spelling, grammar, and always go with a positive tone and so on. I hope everybody is comfortable with that concept. So that was the syllabus. And going back to the home page, the next one here, we have the modules, homework, and so on. So where do we find them? Under the modules, we find all of them. So what I want to discuss here before we go there, a couple of items. One of them is a discussion. Under the discussion board, I put the students' bios. As an example, I put mine. I highly recommend that you put yours so your fellow students get to know you. And if you want to reply to a fellow student, please do so. But again, always use positive tone and be courteous, please. We also have frequently asked question discussion for it. Before you send an email, before you ask everything that I have been asked before, I've tried to put them together here. For example, how to use a math editor in Canvas, tech support, where to find the exam password. It's been already explained. You can find it under the announcement in case you miss the email. So again, before we go to the modules, let's look at this Math Success Center that was explained before. So if you click on that, let me just close this one and this one. So Math Success Center. Here's their website. Virtual front desk. Math Success Center is on Discord. Check out all the services. They have tutoring, online etiquette guideline, free calculator loan program. Again, I've shown you how to find the free calculators online, But if you have to have a physical calculator, they do have a loan program, but I don't think they have unlimited number of calculators. So you want to, I think it's based on the first come, first serve. Resource library, net tutor, I believe also that's free. Free math stat tutoring, free walk-up or drop-in. And the bottom line is every piece of information you need regarding the Math Success Center, okay, you can find it here. So one more time, on the left navigation bar, where you see Math Success Center, you can find the time, location, and what they have to offer. All right, now the next thing is modules. You can click on the modules here or the modules here. Okay. Now, this one is where it takes you to WebAssign or Cengage, they might call it. That's where you find your digital platform. The next one is your ebook. And I'm going to leave this for the end. I will go over that. This is previous lectures and the new one is coming. So let me show you this one. This is the latest one. So if I click on that, it has all the recordings from the previous semester. And of course, we started with the chapter review and so on. You can see them right here. Maybe I should put that in a reverse order now that it's over. However, the new one, we will put it here. If anybody wants to move ahead, you have all the practice tests, recordings, and lectures. Okay, so these are the practice tests, and these are the lectures. Okay. So we have the lectures per section. You can find them there. Okay, everybody. Or just the practice test. Practice test is an upside what you need. So where do you find it? Under the modules, at the very top, the one that just, the third one reads recorded lectures, practice test. The first two are about WebAssign and your digital platform. I will go over that in a moment. What comes after that? This is the first module, exam one module. We're going to cover it for the first few weeks. And so what happens here, what do we have here? I'm going to discuss that in a moment. But before I discuss what we have here, I just want to tell you this next one, exam two module, basically repeats the same thing. We have a little bit more in the first one, and I'll tell you why in a moment. And the next one, exam three module, also similar to that. And then exam four module. And then we have the chapter by chapter review. And finally, at the end, you see some resources. In this case, it's a graphing calculator. Okay. And the extra chapter, chapter 6, it used to be part of calculus one. But let me show you quickly what this is. So you can find the resources for a calculator online. In other words, you may have an opportunity to download an emulator on your computer. Sometimes it doesn't work as good, but we also have all the online calculators and resources available. So I hope you understand what I'm trying to say. I really don't believe students should pay for anything. So I've put together some sources for you, okay? So that's for a graphing calculator. Now, of course, if you continue, other pages have some commands for you. Okay, going back to the modules. So as I mentioned at the end, there are some resources. So let's concentrate on the first module, exam one. What do you find it? A few things that you don't find in another one. First, a pre-calculus review and diagnostic test. This is the review of the material that one needs to make sure they are comfortable to move on with calculus. Okay, so you have the questions and you have the keys. If you do this and you feel comfortable, that means your prior knowledge of mathematics is fantastic and you can easily. So that's the first one. Now, the next one is chapter one review. Chapter one review is just a review. It's not part of this course. And we will cover that. I have put them right here for you and you can download them. If you put this, and we are going to cover it, if you put this in slide mode, then you'll see that examples, when we do them step by step. In other words, it's not going to be like this that you see the entire page. You just see the question, and then we go over the answer with details, and we'll discuss that, okay? So now this chapter one review, as I mentioned, you have it in the form of a PowerPoint. If for any reason you can't make it work, I do have the PDF file for it. That's the reason you see the PDF file in case it doesn't. Now, the first exam covers chapter 2, and these are the PowerPoints. As you can see, we have different sections, for example, 2.1. Again, you see the PowerPoint with details, and if you download it, put it in slide mode, you don't see the entire page, but rather step-by-step work. So that's chapter 2. Now, this is exam 1 review, which is, again, a PowerPoint for chapter 2. We are going to cover this step by step. And as I mentioned, the way it works, we're going to put this in slide mode. So everything will show up line by line. We explain it and we go through the entirety. The reason I put them here for you, class, when we go over the material and the lecture and the exam review, you really don't have to write a lot. There are certain points that you want to, make a note of. But everything, the questions, the theorems, the formulas, the examples, everything is given to you right then and there, because I want you to concentrate on learn. So going back to the home page, we practically covered everything from the welcoming message to philosophy to announcements to the discussion forum, Math Success Center, and the modules. And going back to the modules again, I want to remind you at the end, we have some extra stuff, okay, everybody? But when we go back, exam 1 module has more stuff than, for example, exam 2 modules. Okay, exam 2 modules has the chapter 3 PowerPoints, and it has the exam review PowerPoints as well as the PDF file. I have both of them for you. Okay. All right. So I hope it's clear as to where you can find everything. Now, let me leave the student mode. And again, at the very top, we can find the following. So let me close a couple of things here. So I have some room. So the very first thing is where you find your digital platform. The second one is the ebook. So if you click on that, so for you, only one of them shows up, and I'm going to go with all. When you go to your course in WebAssign, click on all. So it shows the assignments that are coming up, past assignments, current assignments, future assignments, everything that you need to know. Okay. Before we get on with that, I want to explain a couple of things. Look at this one is the chapter 1 review, and it's due in a couple of days. So this is really prior knowledge of mathematics, and you want to get started with it today. Now, if you look at the rest of them, for example, 2.1 homework, 2.1 quiz, and so forth, I want to go all the way to exam 1. Look at the date of the exam 1, and everything else is due the day before that, except the very first assignment, chapter 1 review. So why is that? I want to make sure we understand what's going on. Does that mean that I have to do the homework right the day before? Absolutely not. If you do that, you will not have enough time to learn and get on with the exam, and more importantly, pass the course. So why did I put all of them the day before the exam? Because in the past, it has happened that students asked me if something came up, they couldn't do it, and I had to reactivate it for them. Please, when we finish a topic, a section, that's the time for you to do the homework first and then the quiz. Notice we have the first, we have the homework, and then right after that, we have the quiz. Okay. So again, as far as the exam is concerned, it's password protected. And if you look at the date compared to the date of the rest of them, everything is due the day before that. Please don't wait until then. And chapter 1 review is due in a few days. So let me put this in student mode. Again, you can find your ebook here. You don't have to worry about that in my case, because there are a couple of sections takes me there. So you see your homework in this format, but it's the same thing as I mentioned. So for example, if you click on this, it's important to know when you want to do the homework, we've already gone over the PowerPoint, you know what to do. But if something comes up, for example, this one, and for any reason you find it difficult, notice the help video example. And I don't know if you can hear that if I put it on.
The flash unit on a camera operates by storing charge on a.
So I'm going to close it, but my point being, I'm doing the homework and I have the help video example. Again, not all of them do, but enough questions have it that you should be able to handle everything. And so as I move down, if that's not good enough, or I don't want to watch a video, I want to read it, if I click on read it, it takes me to the text, okay? And so I can go to the next page, and the next page, and so forth. The point being, the help is available here. And then you can submit your answer. Or either you get this wrong, or you want to practice more, just practice another. So you can keep on practicing, either for the sake of practicing or because you got something wrong, okay? And that's how you work on your assignments. The moment you submit the answer, that particular question gets registered and you get the points for it. So that's how the homework thing works here. Very straightforward. Again, as far as the due date, be careful. Don't wait until the last moment. And now going back to the modules, after the platform here, and again, this digital platform also gives you access to the ebook. But in any event, if you just want to read before you go to the digital platform, the ebook should be available here. And again, it is here, and you can go to a specific exercise or a section and you name it. For example, this is the index, the functions and models, limits and derivatives. So you click on the section, the chapter that you're interested in, and take it from there and go to a specific example or specific page. So here's the synopsis of everything we covered. Let's quickly recap, everybody. Here's the homepage of Canvas. Let me put this in. You can find the welcome message, philosophy, announcements. Under the announcements, you can find the announcements that have been sent to you in the form of an email. And if you missed it, you can find it there. Right here, the Tech Connect Zoom right here. This one is where you attend the class. This one is for the office hours. The discussion forum has two things: student bios and frequently asked questions. Math Success Center has all the information for the Math Success Center, their website, their hours, and every help that they have to offer. Under the syllabus, you can find the calendar as well as the syllabus with details. If you missed anything, you want to go back to it. Under the modules, you can find your digital platform. If you go to your digital platform, it takes you to Cengage WebAssign, and you can do your homework. You can go to your text, you name it. The ebook is available. Recorded lectures are available from before, and the new one will be posted. And over there, you can find the practice test as well as the recorded lecture. For now, the only thing you want to be concerned with is exam one module number 1, which will cover the pre-calculus stuff, chapter 1 review, and then our work really starts with chapter 2. So that's the synopsis of everything we need. I wish you all best of luck and happy studying.